moment, and now the perfect tool for my vengeance is in front of us. I never planned on killing you, but I will make you share my pain, Kenobi.
Maul drew a lightsaber hilt, and as Satine's struggle for air worsened, Obi-Wan's fear turned to terror. He twisted to free himself from the guards, only to receive a sharp blow to the head that knocked him to the floor. No, he would not let this happen. He would not. But with another gesture, Maul drew Satine forward. He ignited his blade, a wedge of blackness like a hole in space shot through with crackling white threads. The blade went through Satine's back. Threads of smoke rose from her chest. "Satine!" Obi-Wan gasped. He broke free of the commando's grip and rushed to Satine as Maul let her crash to the ground. Brushing the hair out of her eyes, cradling her in his arms, he felt something course through his veins. It was not blood. It was something simultaneously colder and yet hotter than blood. It was anger. He fought to hold it back and listened to Satine's last words. "Remember, my dear Obi-Wan, I've loved you always." Her fingers touched his face. "I always will." She closed her eyes. Her body went limp in his arms, and she was dead. When Maul killed Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan was stricken with sorrow. Sorrow gripped him again, but there was something else as well. Something dangerous. Something that scorched. Satine wasn't Maul's enemy. She was just a tool Maul had used to get something he wanted. The throne of Mandalore. And a tool to hurt Obi-Wan. Using a person that way was the worst form of cruelty. Satine had been a person, and her death wasn't just a loss for Obi-Wan. It was a loss for so many more. She'd been a child on this world, like other children. She'd taken her first step, uttered her first word, laughed and chased flitters in the tall grass of the Mandalorian plains. She'd learned to read, made friends, suffered hurts, recovered, and laughed again. And she'd become a leader. She should have lived to see her world thrive, to see her people find peace, to prosper, to make music and art. She should have grown old and been able to look back on all she'd achieved. But in a split second, Maul had ended all that. He'd extinguished a light in the universe and replaced it with shadow. Such an act was truly the definition of the dark side, and Obi-Wan burned with rage. With the rage came a vision. Eyes smoldering with hatred, screams in the red glare of a lightsaber. Obi-Wan would cleave Maul in two. He would do much worse. There would be nothing left of him, or the other Dathomirian, or the Commandos, those Mandalorian traitors. He would kill Almec. He would kill anyone who'd had a hand in overthrowing Satine, anyone who contributed to her death. And he would kill anyone who tried to stop him, anyone who stood in his way, by word or by deed, anyone. Maul laughed.
And now we see the true Obi-Wan Kenobi. The one he hides behind a mask of wit and charm. The one who yearns to be set free.
And if Obi-Wan gave in to his desires, he'd be giving Maul exactly what he wanted. He'd become the thing he dedicated his life to oppose. He'd no longer be himself. None of that was what Satine would have wanted. Not on her world. Not anywhere. You can't win, Maul. Not this way.
Imprison him below.
Maul seethed.
Let him drown in his misery. Take him to his cell to rot.
As Obi-Wan allowed the commandos to drag him away, only he knew of the painful victory he'd just won. And how he could not have done it without drawing strength from Satine Kryze, Duchess of Mandalore. A squad of commandos trained their blasters on Obi-Wan's back, forcing him to the cell blocks. With his hands immobilized in binders, his muscles and bones still radiating pain from the crash of the twilight, and his lightsaber clipped to the belt of one of the guards, this was his last chance to make a move. Metallic impacts rang out as magnetic darts attached themselves to the nearest commando's jetpack. It seemed someone was giving Obi-Wan an opportunity. Whether a friend or a new foe, it hardly mattered. The darts blinked with red lights. Blinking red lights usually meant one thing. Obi-Wan gave the commando a sharp kick to get some distance from him, and he took satisfaction when the darts detonated. Before the echo of the booms had even faded, another Mandalorian sat down on the platform. She moved in a blur, blasting the rifle out of one commando's hands, taking out another guard with a high-spinning kick, and firing his gauntlet cable into the chest plate of another. She knifed the jetpack's control trigger, and the hapless guard launched off the platform, dragging his comrade behind him into the side of a building. In fewer than 3 seconds, the newcomer had taken out the entire squad. Obi-Wan rose to his feet. There was something familiar about the woman's sharp-angled face, framed by bluntly cut red hair. "I'm sorry," he said. "I don't believe we've met." She picked up Obi-Wan's lightsaber from the deck. 4 warriors in Death Watch armor descended to the platform, flanking her. Her armor matched theirs. "Bo-Katan," she said, slicing through Obi-Wan's binders. She handed Obi-Wan his lightsaber. "I'm here to rescue you. That's all you need to know." "Sounds good to me." She attached one of the fallen commando's jetpacks to his back. "You ever used one of these before?" "No," thought Obi-Wan. "Not once, not ever, but just sound confident," he reminded himself. "In this case, I'm a fast learner. Where to?" "Platform 1D. Of course, Obi-Wan had no idea where Platform 1D was. "I'll follow you then." With commandos in pursuit and blaster bolts leaving sizzling craters on the sharp-edged buildings and catwalks, Obi-Wan considered every second he didn't crash or get shot to be a great success. He even managed a somewhat controlled landing on the lip of the connecting tunnel to the platform. The commandos were right behind them, firing salvos from their rifles. Obi-Wan deflected blasts with his lightsaber while the Death Watch troopers returned fire. The tunnel doors opened to the exterior platform, revealing even more intense fighting, both on the platform and in the skies. Explosions shook the deck. The air burned with blaster fire. Through heat and noise, Obi-Wan could make out Maul's super commandos waging a battle against Death Watch loyalists. "Maul must really want you dead," Bo-Katan said, impressed. No, not dead. Maul wanted him in pain. Almost as badly as Obi-Wan had wanted to hurt him back. "You have no idea," was all he would say. Together they raced for the nearest ship, not yet engulfed in flames. Obi-Wan ran partway up the ramp, drawing fire with his blade, but Bo-Katan didn't follow. "Aren't you coming?" With a blaster in each hand, she never paused squeezing the triggers. "Go back to your Republic and tell them what happened." Obi-Wan ducked as a blaster bolt passed within a centimeter of his head. "That would likely lead to a Republic invasion of Mandalore." "Yes, and Maul will die, but Mandalore will survive. We always survive. Now go!" "Bringing war to Mandalore is not what the Duchess would have wanted." Still firing and still hitting her targets, Bo-Katan turned to face him. Satine wanted peace. She wanted to stay out of this war. But she was not a fool. The war has come, and if she were still here, she would do anything to protect her world. I understand that now. There was such pain in her eyes. It was a pain Obi-Wan shared. "You're Satine's sister, aren't you?" She didn't need words to give him the answer. Obi-Wan nodded. "I'm so sorry." He climbed the rest of the way up the ramp into the ship, and left Bo-Katan behind to fight. But he would be back someday. He would not forget Satine, or her dream of better days for Mandalore. Anakin was waiting for him in the hangar bay when he returned to the Jedi Temple. Obi-Wan tried to compose a calm and serene expression, but Anakin must have seen through it. "Master? What happened?" The words came with struggle. He didn't want to talk. Not yet. maybe not ever. But he knew he needed to speak. He knew it was important that Anakin hear it. "I lost someone important to me," Obi-Wan said. "And I understand anger in a way I never have. I know how difficult it is not to give in to it." Anakin held his gaze a long time, struggles of his own evident on his face. "I have to report to the Council," Obi-Wan said finally. "May I come with you, Master?" Obi-Wan managed a smile. He clapped Anakin on the shoulder. "Yes," Obi-Wan said. "We'll do this together."